Hello! So today we're looking at the Building Plans Conversion app. This app does all of your conversion needs, as long as you need inches and meters to be converted. Here I set the conversion rates as constants because they will not be changing, as decimals for inches to meters and for meters to inches. Moving on, I decided to have these separate strings formatted for the conversion results. I've got these blank spots so I could put in what the original input is and then what the resulting output would be. And I broke up my variable declarations into these blocks because for me it kind of lays it out in a nice format so I can keep everything packaged together. Here we have the input variables for intaking it as a string and then converting the input to a decimal. And then this final block is for input validation. If the input's not valid, I've got this message that covers all cases, whether the input's not numeric, or if it's less than 0, or if it's empty, in one simple statement. And then I've got this declared variable, message alert, and this will be used for the message box in the event that there has been invalid input. Well, of course, we've got the button exit, button clear, form load, but the meat and potatoes is the button convert event, which will validate the user input and convert it as needed. So first I collect the input, then it checks if it's numeric. If it is numeric, it performs the conversion to decimal, and then it checks again to see if the input was positive, and if it is not positive, it'll display this message box using that invalid input message, and it'll reset the input focus and clear what they put in originally, and the same thing will happen if their input was empty or not numeric. But in the case of valid input, the next thing is to check to see which radio button was checked. If the radio button was meters to inches, then it takes the conversion and it sets it to the value of the input multiplied by the conversion rate, and it converts the decimal to a string. I have it going to just 2 decimal places, and then finally the displayed message will be the string version of the conversion result, formatted to include the original input and the output. So the input will go in here and the output will go in there. And of course, if 2 inches isn't selected, it should be 2 meters, since that's the only other option, and so it'll perform the inches to meters conversion instead and format the string accordingly. After it performs those, it sets the value of the string conversion, and then it uses that to set the value of the text to display in the form. Here is the form. This conversion at the bottom only appears in this view during development. But as we see, if we load the form, it's actually blank. The text input is focused, and the inches to meters radio button is already pre-selected. So let's put in some input. Let's put in some input. Okay, let's put in some input. Almost had it. Let's try meters to inches. Oh, let's put in some input. And finally, inches to meters. 100 inches is 2.54 meters. Or if we were to do 100 meters, the result is 3,937.01 inches. To check that this output is correct, I used Google to pop open these converters just to make sure that it was performing the proper calculations. which it looks like it is. If we just pull them up side by side, yes, it appears to be. Something interesting that I found was that if the input exceeded about 10 million for inches to meters, originally the way I had the display aligned, it would just cut off. But I've changed it now so that it'll start wrapping if the input grows too large to fit on one line, which I think that's nice. It's just a side thing. Of course, it does also accept decimal input. And clear can be activated via the button click or with the escape button. And clear resets the radio button and the text input so that it's ready to go. And if we click the exit button, it terminates the program and closes the window. And that is the Building Plans Conversion app. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.